All right, all right. Good morning. Happy Monday. A couple questions for you as you get started today. What great plans and changes do you have in store for yourself this week? How are you starting Monday? Are you starting with already dreading what you have to do today or this week? Did you wake up already thinking about how much you just don't like Mondays? Did you plan and prep for a great week ahead? Did you get up this morning and just kind of simply go through the motions? Or this afternoon, has your day been spent just kind of going through the motions? Are you committed to showing up with intention to every single thing that you do this week? We actually had a conversation with Paisley last Sunday, kind of revolving around all of those questions. And we were putting her to bed, and she just kind of asked, because she has a lot of questions all the time, but she asked, what is our least favorite day of the week? And I kind of just thought about it for a minute, and I told her, I don't honestly know. Every day is kind of different and has its own challenges and adventures. So I honestly don't have a least favorite day of the week. Not anymore. And then, of course, I asked her, hey, what is your least favorite day of the week? And she replied with Monday. I remember dreading Mondays for a lot of my life, like just dreading Mondays. And I would spend so much of Sunday thinking about how much I didn't want Monday to come. What a waste, like I would just have Saturday and Sunday off at the time, like I'm talking like get off work on Friday at like 4 o'clock. I'd have all afternoon Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday off. But then I'd waste half of my time off thinking about how much I didn't want it to end. Like, what is that? It just kind of sucked the joy out of Sunday. Like, instead of having this whole day of being off and rest and all of the things that I could do, I would be sitting there thinking about how much I didn't like Monday and how much I just didn't want Sunday to end. But then guess what? Like, Monday came anyway. And what a good thing that it did, right? So, here we are on a Monday. Maybe you're listening to this on Monday, maybe you're not. But if you're not listening on Monday, you just had a Monday. Maybe you spent all day Sunday dreading it. And maybe you've moved past that like I have, and you've learned to love Mondays. I don't know where you fall, but wherever you fall on the spectrum, I encourage you to change your attitude about Monday. It really is. It's a fresh start. It's a new opportunity. And I'm pretty sure if you've listened to me for a while, I hate the whole I'll start Monday attitude or philosophy, whatever you call it. But Monday really is a perfect day for a new attitude, a new outlook, a new routine, or even a change. So embrace it, enjoy it, and just definitely don't waste it. And I'm not going to keep talking Mondays. That is not even what I'm talking about today, but I want to chat today about the harvest. And another word for harvest could be results. And it's a concept that we all know, but it's one that is so easy to forget. I'm sure you've heard thousands of times, you reap what you sow, you reap what you sow. I've heard it. I've said it to my kids. I've thought about it. I was actually doing a Bible study last week and the sowing, reaping process came up. And it forced me to sit back and reflect on a few different places in my life. Because I think myself, just like most of you guys probably, I do really good in some areas and then I don't do so well in other areas. I had to sit back and I just reflected and looked at places where my seeds aren't quite what I want them to be, and places where I can't wait to reap the harvest. And there are both. There are definitely both. Places that I'm really excited about and places that I'm like, oh, these seeds probably should have planted some different ones or taken better care of them. We have to understand that we will always harvest something. Like there will always be a harvest. At the end of the day, the week, the month, the year, or your life, there is going to be a result or a harvest. And I think it's so important to think about, like, what will yours look like? So I think you have to ask yourself the question. I have to ask myself the same question, like, what are you sowing? By definition, sow means to plant seed by scattering it on or in the earth. And this is where it all starts. This is why we have to be so intentional with our life. We have to know what seeds we're scattering. We must choose which seeds we want to plant in our life and in the lives of others. I did a Mindset Monday not long ago where I talked about what are you growing? Similar to this in a lot of ways, but I think we always have to evaluate what seeds we're sowing in our life. Those seeds have the power to change us, to impact others, and to produce incredible success and results. But spreading or planting the seed is just the beginning, right? Have you ever seen a farmer just throw some seeds out and get a great harvest? Probably not. I don't know a ton about farming, but I've tried my hand at gardening a few times. I'll tell you this, it is harder than it looks. It takes work. It takes consistency. It takes planning. It takes great care to produce a great harvest. You can't just throw a bunch of stuff out there and wait for it to grow. No, you have to think about it. Like, it has to be intentional. I'm reminded of this daily when I drive to the gym. I pass two large fields and I just look at them sometimes, and Paisley always comments on them, but the crops are like the rows, they're placed in very meticulous rows. Like, there's not one row out of place. They're watered, they're weeded, they're worked daily. Someone didn't just plant the seed and walk away. No, that farmer, he nurtures it, he tends to it, and then he finally has the opportunity to harvest it. And I think, like, just in my gardening experience, my limited experience, think about what would happen if you tried to grow vegetables, but you didn't take time to prep the soil. You didn't research how much light is needed or what conditions the vegetables thrive in. You didn't pay attention to the plants that you planted around it. You didn't account for bugs, right? You just threw the seed out. Or maybe even you bought like the Bonnie plants, like I've always bought at Home Depot, right? And like it looks like it's going to be beautiful and awesome and so easy. Like the container even is biodegradable and just plant the whole thing, right? You just planted it, but you didn't really think about it. And then you watered it like every once in a while. You fed the plants on occasion. Maybe you put some fertilizer out. What would your garden look like? You might get some jalapenos to grow. I only say that because that was one of the only vegetables that I never seemed to kill in my gardens. But it's not going to look very nice. It's not going to produce a bountiful harvest. It's going to be bare. Like, you're not eating off of this garden that you just put out by chance. It's like you just threw it out there and relied on luck to get the harvest that you wanted. But chance and luck don't work. Chance and luck don't work. Work works. I always love this quote, and I don't know who said it, but it says, "Stop complaining about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do." How often have we found ourselves there, complaining about what we don't have or what we don't want? But then if you really drilled down and looked at the work that you put in, you'll see it wasn't very much. So stop complaining about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. I know you guys already know this. I've talked about it so many times over the last year in these Mindset Monday episodes. But you will never find a replacement for work. You won't. Like, you can't take work out of the equation. I hate listening to people talk about the quick fix that they saw. Like, I hate it. Commercials drive me crazy. Magazines, when I'm checking out at Publix, drive me crazy. Lose 15 pounds in 4 days. Like, and it's easy, right? That's always on there. When you hear the words easy and quick, you like need to start running. Run away fast. In the fitness space, we hear about workouts that are easy and quick. I mean, I'm talking like 20 minutes in your living room 3 days a week. You're going to get great results. It's easy, right? That is BS. Maybe if you've done nothing for the last 30 years and you're 100 pounds overweight, okay, something like that might work for that person. You might lose a few pounds, but you aren't fit, right? 20 minutes in your living room 3 days a week with a tagline of easy and quick, you are not fit. You aren't strong. You aren't in shape. Programs that produce real results aren't easy or comfortable or quick. The reality is, though, you are harvesting something. Either way, it's hard, right? I think that we forget about that sometimes. It doesn't matter if it's fitness or work or life or whatever. Either way, it's going to be hard. So in the fitness space, right, in your health, you can choose to make your workout in the gym hard, or you can choose to live a hard life where you're out of breath walking up 2 flights of stairs. Your choice. You can choose to work your tail off and build your hustle, right? Build whatever that side hustle is that you've been wanting to do. That's hard work. You can choose that, or you can choose the other hard, which is showing up to a job that you hate every single day of your life. Either way, it's hard. Which hard are you going to choose? One is transparent and upfront. You'll have to work hard. The other promises easy, but I think we have to look at how hard is your day-to-day life. Either way, it's hard. You have to pay your dues. You have to be willing to pay your dues. I don't care what harvest you're trying to reap. It isn't going to happen by sitting back and talking about it. You're not going to get lucky and get a big break. I don't want to be like the one that puts a damper on your dream here, but you're not just going to get lucky. Someone isn't going to drop out of the sky and hand you your perfect life on a silver platter with all of your dreams wrapped in beautiful little presents. It's not how life works. Pay your dues. I actually just bought a hoodie to remind myself of that. It's easy to look at someone else and what they have. It's easy to look at their life and think, man, that's awesome. But you haven't seen the dues they've paid. You haven't seen the work that they've put in. Not in just the last few months, but throughout years, probably, or a lifetime of hard work. It's easy. It's so easy to complain about where you are. But you have to ask yourself what work you're putting in to get to where you want to be. You know, it's so interesting. We do a workout on Saturday mornings that's pretty advanced in the gym, and it's an early morning class. So, you already got to be willing to get up at the crack of dawn on a Saturday. But it's not a class. It's just a workout where you're on your own because it's actually Josh and I's workout. So we were trying to figure out how to split up our Saturday morning class. We're like, well, we want to get our Saturday morning workout in. So, maybe some people could just join us. But we are working out. So we're not watching form or technique. And so because of that, it was vital for us to make sure that everyone that was there had proven that they had good technique and could move heavy loads on the barbell quickly and safely. And we just couldn't afford for someone that was new to the barbell or hadn't practiced a ton to come in there and hurt themselves. It's the last thing that we want. And so the best way we could think to make sure that everyone there would move safely was to set basic standards for who can show up. I thought about it because I was thinking about a competition that I wanted to enter, and I couldn't enter the division that I wanted because I didn't meet the standards. So in order for me to get there, I've got to put in the work, right? I've got to stay after class. I've got to do things on my own. I've got to do the work if I really want to get to that level. And at first, we got some blowback, honestly. I think it's just kind of the culture we live in too, but it's not fair. Anyone should be able to show up, etc. People thought well, everyone should be able to go because being in that environment helps people get better. But again, it's not a class. It's not coached. And we're not going to take on the liability of someone not moving safely during that workout. So show me that you're going to put in the work to meet and exceed the standards. You don't have to lift the heaviest. You don't have to be able to do the most pull ups. You don't have to be the most fit person in the gym, but you got to work to get there. And again, the people that are there have paid their dues. They've been on the barbell for a long time, mostly. But by constantly working on technique to move heavier loads or move your body well, you've learned, you've become more efficient, and you're moving safely. And you just roll right in. But it doesn't just be like, I want to show up because that fits my schedule, so I'm going to pop in. No, you work to get there. And it's no different with any area of our life. You can't complain about the job or the raise that you didn't get if you're not putting the work in. And it's not like the standard, average, expected work. It's extra work. Like, I think that's what we forget. We're like, oh yeah, we're working hard. I'm working hard. I'm working hard. But like, are you working hard and meeting like where is the bar? Right? Is the bar average? Like I'm doing everything that I'm expected to do? Or have you raised the bar? And that's the level that you're working at. How much extra are you doing? How early are you showing up? How late are you staying? This is the same with any area of your life. You have to pay your due. You have to know what harvest you want, and then you got to work to get there. It's your job, it's your relationships, it's your finances, whatever. If you want what you say you want, you need to get to work. Pay your freaking dues. Talking about it, complaining about it, planning for it, is not going to change anything. In the gym, that means staying after class. It means showing up for open gym and asking for help. It means booking one-on-one sessions with us to work on technique or talk about your goals and the best next steps for you. It means sending us your food log so that we can look at it. In every area of your life, there are thousands of resources available to you. Thousands. But you're the one that has to step out and utilize them. It's not anybody else's job to be like, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. No, that's your job. Work is vital. You cannot get around that. But also, we have to recognize that life happens in seasons. We talk to people a lot that are discouraged by either the fact that maybe they've started too long, like they've waited too long to get started working on improving themselves, or maybe they're slammed and can't seem to balance everything they think they need to do. So we always have to be willing to acknowledge what season that we're in. We've talked about choosing your sacrifice before. When you've just taken on a major project at work, or you have a newborn, or you're in the midst of a huge life change, that might not be the best time to train for a big race or set a huge goal in the gym or in an area that you're not already consumed with. When we were getting ready to open the gym, that season was focused on building a business and figuring this whole thing out. Like that had to be the season. My season was a business, not hitting PRs in my workouts, not taking on something else new, not learning something totally different. I'm always trying to learn, but like I have to recognize what season that I'm in. Look at farmers again. They don't plant everything at once. In the field by the gym, they rotate cotton and peanuts. At least I think. I know they have cotton because I can see it, but I'm pretty sure the other one is peanuts. I don't know the science behind it, but I do know they aren't trying to plant everything in one season. Trying to work on everything or do too much will lead you straight to burnout. You got to figure out what's most important to you right now and work on that. If it's raising kids, that doesn't mean that you can't take care of yourself. But your focus and energy is less on making it to the gym 6 days a week and eating perfect food or climbing the ladder at work, and more on being there for your kids in this season. It's like a lot of times I think we're literally just trying to make it through the day without losing it on anyone, especially like when our kids are small. Know what season you're in. The season will change, but you have to be honest with what you want to harvest most right now, and then pour yourself into that. We've got to play in seasons. We've got to live in seasons. We have seasons where grinding is appropriate, but we also have to have seasons of refreshment and renewal. So work your tail off and know what season you're in. And then I already said this, but don't wait for someone else. Don't wait for someone else. While you're planting and watering and harvesting, don't wait on anyone. So many people are simply waiting on someone else to tell them what to do or how to do it. I deal with this with my kids all the time. I'm like, they do really well when I give very specific directions on exactly what needs to be done. But they like flounder when they got to figure it out themselves. This is your life. This is your dream. These are your goals. Don't sit around and wait for someone else to tell you what you need to do. Figure it out and then go do it. We see so many people stalled out because they're waiting for something. Maybe it's direction or more knowledge, confirmation or a sign, whatever. But waiting equals wasted time. There's always something you can be doing. It's up to you to take action. It's up to you to figure it out. As coaches, sure, we provide guidance and direction, but we aren't responsible for your life or your results. We're not. You are. We can lay out a plan, but if you don't take some initiative and get to work, your harvest isn't going to be very big. Remember, don't complain about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. Complaining isn't going to get you very far. Your comfort zone isn't going to produce results. You have to step out. You have to be willing to figure some things out on your own. I don't care what kind of plan, coach, anything that you have, nothing will work if you don't. It doesn't matter how many times the plan has been proven. I mean, we've seen this in health coaching. It works. It works really well. But it doesn't do the work for you. No plan's going to work if you don't. I mean, the information is out there. We have Google, guys. I mean, there is no shortage of information. There is more information available to you right now than you will ever need. And I get that that's a double-edged sword because there's an opinion out there for everyone, and there is so much information that sometimes you don't even know what's good information and what's not. And I've talked about that actually just a couple of times before of how to get through the sea of information. But in short, I think the best way to do that is to find a few people that you trust and listen to them. Drown out the noise. Or find a coach, whatever it is. But regardless, you know enough. You know enough right now to do something. Don't know everything, but you know enough to do something. You don't need to know how food affects your body on a cellular level to know that fast food, soda, and sugar aren't your friend. Right? That's easy. We know that. You know that. I don't need to sit here and explain the whole body to you to know that fast food, soda, and sugar aren't good for you. You don't have to be an expert in every area of fitness to know that moving daily is better for you than plopping on the couch every single night. We know this stuff. You don't have to know the details of running a Fortune 500 company to start a business on the side. You have what you need. You don't need to wait for someone to tell you what to do. You don't have to do everything, but find one thing to do right now and get to work. Do it. You have to know what harvest that you want. And then you need to nourish your life so that you get there. You will reap what you sow. You can't just wait and see what grows or what results you get. That's the last thing you want to do. You have to take charge. You have to accept full responsibility and ownership of your harvest. Because your harvest is a result of your work, your choices, your decisions. So when it comes to sowing, know what seeds you're throwing out there. Know what seeds you're throwing out. Know what they need to thrive. Be willing to pay your dues, work, hustle, and grind. Pay attention to the season that you are in. not what someone else is in, not what your best friend's in, not what anyone else is in. Pay attention to the season you are in. And don't get caught up in comparing with somebody that's in a different season. And don't wait on anybody else. Whew, that is what I've got for y'all today. Let's produce a killer harvest, guys. You can. You just have to work at it. I hope that you have an amazing week. I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Please, please, please keep the feedback coming for me. I really, really like to hear it. And also, I really would like your feedback on something. I am looking at different ways to share these episodes. So please let me know what would be the easiest platform for you. Most of you guys know I'm not like tech savvy, but again, I know enough to do something, so I'm working on it. But the platform that would work easier for you, be that YouTube or podcast style or continue distributing on Facebook and Google Drive, whatever it is, I would like to know what is easiest for you so that I can get to work on that. But go rock this week. Enjoy your Monday or your Tuesday or your Thursday, whatever day it is that you're listening to this. And I'm here if you need me, so reach out.